time again. Grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, open up a cold one, and listen to American Metal Magazine exclusive interview with Detoure. Hey, everybody, you got the dude here with American Metal Magazine, and we've got an awesome band right here with us today. This is Detoure, and Detoure is really coming across the scene. We've got some new tracks that are coming out for these guys, and we've got actually Connie right now with us. Hey, Connie, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So, one of the things that really caught me, the first thing that I noticed is the name of the band. So, I thought that's interesting. How many times have we all pulled a detour in our lives? But is that what we're talking about? Where did the name come from?
Well, I wanted a cool name. And I thought, well, my initial plan was every album was going to be a different genre.
Yeah, okay.
So that was my initial goal.
Wow,
And I'm like,
that's
that way, yeah, and so I thought, well, this have a name that doesn't really, that could be anything. So we're going to detour to this genre. We're going to detour to this genre.
yeah,
And I
see, that
added the
makes
E to make it look.
right. So I got you. So that's really interesting, and I really noticed that your music is really varied, and now that makes sense. It's I felt like I had some punk in there, and some European sound. I mean, and I was looking at when I first got your demo, I was like, where are these guys from? They could be a Eastern Europe band or something. And then I dug in and found out. And where are you at right now? Where's
Charlotte,
home base?
Charlotte, North Carolina. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. I love Charlotte.
Mhm.
What a great little town. So let me ask you, what is the scene like there, Connie? What's it like up
Charlotte?
there? Yeah. Do we have a live music presence up there? What's it like up there?
The Charlotte's booming with music. But ironically, finding musicians is really difficult.
Oh yeah.
They're everywhere. But there's a lot of there's definitely, it's a good rock scene. I can't wait to play actually here. So
Yeah, that's what I was asking if you had a chance to play out yet at any
nope,
venues. Yeah. Is
not
there
yet.
some
Not as
place?
me.
Yeah, that's all right. That takes time sometimes to get set. Is there a place that you know of that is like a local scene that you've checked out before?
Oh yeah, the Rooster. It's in Gastonia actually.
The
We will play there at
Rooster.
one point. Yep.
Yeah, I had some guys from up north said they played there and they
Mhm.
said that was a great place. So
Yeah.
if you haven't checked that out, the Rooster, that's something that I've heard of before.
Yep.
So that's cool. So let me ask you, how long is the band been formed recently? Have you been working on this project a while? What kind of is your status? When did this all start for you? And as
Uh,
far
Music's been my whole life, but I
yeah,
started Detour in 2009, and
right.
it was a solo project because I couldn't find members. And then I actually had to go out of the music scene for a while in 2010 due to some health issues
Mhm.
um, and just things. Got back into it in 2022 and started looking for musicians. Find
Yeah.
them, they go away because they have other projects, or they just
Yes.
into my music, or they weren't gonna.
Right.
It's been everything.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been actually hunting for my perfect band
Yeah.
members since then, and I finally, after it was in January this year actually, I found AJ in December, I think it was. I found him
Uh-huh.
on my drummer.
Yeah.
He's known, he's a
Hmm.
touring drummer. He's played with, Platinum Rose and all kinds of other bands and that people would know.
Hmm.
And we were getting ready to do a photo shoot. I paid it, had it booked, had everything going. We had the rest of my band was here, nearby. AJ lives in Tennessee. Um, and he was getting ready to come down. We were going to do the photo shoot. We were going to rehearse, and I was getting ready to book us.
Yeah.
And my guitarist that I had said, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm out." Yeah,
Oh
he did.
no.
Yeah, that very same like 5 minutes after AJ said, "Hey, I'm getting in my truck. I'm on my way." um, this guy says, "Hey, my other band's taken off, and we're gonna, we're busy. It's a conflict." Da 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 da. And this is like the
Yeah.
third time he's tried to bail out on me, and I'm like, you know
Hmm.
what? I'm done. So AJ and I cry. I call him crying. I'm like, I can't believe, and just so mad. And he says, Connie, why don't I just get some people together by me up here in Tennessee while you're doing, and we'll get together, we'll learn all your stuff. And when you're done with tax season, because I do have a day job as an accountant,
Hmm.
uh, and I'm MIA during tax season, you can't get hold of me. So he says, by the time you're done with that, then you just come up here. I'm like, you know what? Okay. And he did. Within a week, he had Ralph and Ken. And then it took another 2 weeks, I think, and Ralph brought in Wednesday. And so yeah, I mean, it was like it just fell in place. And then we
So,
played AJ's wedding in March.
oh wow. So that was really recent. So that's
Very.
awesome. Sometimes it just comes together. And I've got to tell you, I'm a Tennessee boy. So
I love
yeah, I'm a real fan of anybody playing music from Tennessee. Where are they at? Are they close to Knoxville, or are they uh closer to
it.
Nashville?
Well, they're kind of in the middle of those two.
Yeah, yeah, I know that area.
Honestly, yeah, yeah. And I don't think they want me to say where, but they're
Yeah.
an hour away from Nashville, and I think
Yeah.
it's like an hour from Knoxville. They're in the middle.
Yeah, I know where that area is. It's beautiful country, by the way,
It is. Yeah.
out there. It's incredible.
I'd
So,
move there in a heartbeat if I could.
so tell me what now. Let me understand what you have out right now. What
Mhm.
are the? Do you have an album out right now, or some
Yes.
tracks out available? Tell me about those.
Anti-X's, and I don't have a copy sitting in front of me, but
Yeah.
Anti-X's, it's my debut CD. I originally recorded it in 2009 in a little place nearby.
Mhm.
Released that unmixed, unmastered, and I think there is actually somehow it's out there still, even though I've tried to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I released that. It did really good.
Yeah.
I the followers. I had all kinds of followers on Spotify. Um, and then it just kind of, then like I said, I had to leave the scene for a while. And so I re-recorded it in 2022 and then sent it to Blake Scapino. He was referred to me by the guy I was working with at the time. um, and Blake mixed and mastered, laid the clean guitar. He's the one that did the solo and all that on My Parade. And that's the only
Ah.
track that I did not create the music for. And Blake, he was so funny. He says, I hope you like Van Halen because I kind of went Eddie Van Halen on it. I'm like,
Nice.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy, what have you done? And I love it. It's my favorite track.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah. He
released
definitely
it.
rocked it up a little. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing. He's amazing.
Man, that's so. How does that happen for you? The creative process. A lot of people get to it differently. Do you, when you write? I'm assuming you make most of the lyrics. So when that happens, do you just find a place and start writing, or do you listen to a tune and start to pick out? What I think
Yeah.
to put in there. How does that work for you?
It's been all of that. It's been, there are many nights I wake up and it's a complete songs in my head and I gotta write it down.
Yeah.
Because if I
Right.
don't, it's gone.
Yeah.
I've had other lines in other songs that I'm like, that
Mhm.
gave me an idea. I've had movies, I've watched movies and the concept of it gave me an idea. And then of course, pain
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
personal
Right.
experience.
Sure.
Yeah, the new stuff is all of that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna make people go, ooh.
Yeah. Well, I believe that the more that you put pain
Mm,
into music, the more that love comes back. That's what
yeah,
I find. When you're on
yeah.
stage performing, the more
Mhm.
intense that you can be, the more that you can tap into those emotions. That's what people really key on.
Oh
And
yeah.
it comes across. It doesn't matter if it's live or if it's recorded. If you're doing that, then it's going to come across. And I hear that in your music. So great, great job on that. It's
Thank you.
been really awesome. So, Now you have some new stuff coming
Mhm.
up. Is that right? Let's talk about the, can we talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit?
we can talk about it. We're getting ready to
Okay.
release it.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So, what's happening with that? What was the inspiration? You mentioned pain, but how did you come to the new sound? What was your drive here?
Well, I've always wanted the sound we're good. Blah, I can't talk at the moment. I've
Uh,
always wanted the heavier sound.
yeah,
Even though my
right.
voice is not a low screecher voice,
Hmm.
but I've always liked the heavier sound. I love it, the melodies. And
Yeah.
honestly, this music that is coming out now, since I didn't have a band and I have all these lyrics, I bought the music. And I bought it from somebody. I don't know if I can say who it is or not. And then I've got the guy that recorded my vocals laid some of the little guitar tweaks that I wanted.
Hmm.
So he's on there. Um, and then of course I sent it to Blake again. So
Yeah.
hey, Blake, mix and master, because I had gone back and forth with it with this other guy, and it just wasn't there. You got to get the
Yeah.
chill, you got to get the goosebumps in order for me to be good with it. So I'm
Right.
like, here you go. And he did it. He had it. He did. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. But it's this one that's coming out is actually a song called Turn and Run. It's not necessarily pain, this one. It's
Uh-huh.
actually a song about addiction.
Oh, yeah, right on. Something a lot of people struggle with. I've struggled with it,
Mhm.
honestly, a lot of
Mhm.
people do. And
Yeah.
so it's just about overcoming those things. So is that
Yep.
kind of what that song's all
It
about?
is. It's about the battle. It's about, it's turn and run, don't give in, turn,
Yeah.
run, don't give in. But there's a twist in the song where I gave in. So I'm
Yeah.
touching on the fact that everyone falls off that wagon. You don't just
Hmm.
kick it in one time. It takes a couple,
Sure.
and
Right.
some people it takes life and death. They go into a coma or something.
Yeah.
Um, the video, though, I have to say, is going to touch on sex addiction. So
Well,
that's one that's not talked about.
that's the
So
kind of addiction I was telling you about. It.
would you?
Well, man, what can I say? But so let me ask you, what were some of your earlier influences? What got you here? Was there somebody in your past that, or in your family, that really motivated you, or was it an
Yeah.
artist that inspired you? What happened there for you?
I come from a family of singers.
Yeah.
um, my dad is the one that got me into it. He had me singing at 4 years old.
Uh,
Uh, and he just kept me going. And I have a fond
yeah.
memory of my first time singing. I did an original of mine in 8th grade as a solo, got a standing ovation, and I was the outcast, the one picked on all through school.
Yeah.
So to get that, oh my God, it
Uh-huh.
was the most awesome high one could have. And I'm like, oh.
Wow, that's a great story, Carrie. So really, you were kind of, and I was like that too, kind of in the back a little bit, but the music really made a difference for me socially. Did you find that too? Kind of
Yep.
blossomed at that moment, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Music has always been my drug, and it's always been my solace. I was a loner as a kid.
Yeah.
They have the friends, wasn't really allowed to.
Uh,
And so I was always in my room listening to music, and I was only allowed to listen to the top 40 Billboard charts.
oh, wow.
Yeah, that's all I was allowed. So little did my parents know that when I finally got headphones and I plug into the radio at night, I was listening to Kiss, and Lick It Up had come out. Love this. This
How
is what I want.
decadent. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my rebellion, and I recorded it back when we recorded on this little cassette
Yeah,
tape. And I'm
man.
like, and
Right. I
I
remember
played that
that.
all the time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think we had the influence that our parents wanted us to have. And I know mine. My mom was a pianist. So there was a guy called Lawrence Welk, man. That's a long time ago,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
And this guy, if you saw it today, you should look it up if you're out there. Look up Lawrence Welk, by the way. And
Yep.
my mom was just like, man, this is the greatest guy. And then my brothers uh came in and gave me a Pink Floyd album. And
Uh-huh.
I was just like, what is this? And it blew me away. And
Uh-huh.
so, I think we have those turning moments where we decide, we have our own taste, we have
Yep.
our own, way that we think that music ought to be. And what's neat when you become a musician is that you can turn that around and produce those kinds of things. So
Yeah,
that's got to be a real treat for you to be at that level now, to be creating these
it is.
things.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's kind of funny because, I go from my dad not wanting me to listen to the heavier stuff. And then when my parents divorced and we moved away, the very first album I got was Rat Out of the Cellar.
Nice.
I told my
Yeah.
dad about it. He died. God died. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And now I'm doing, he always wanted to hear me sing, and he didn't like my album. He actually didn't like my music.
Oh,
Yeah, he didn't
oh,
really
God.
care for it. He wanted to hear me sing or pop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
None of
but
my family
he's
likes
proud of
my
me though.
music. They don't like it. That's how it is with family, I think. But so that's great. So was there a particular artist that you think that really stood out for you when you were was it
Over
Kiss?
the
Was that the
years, oh my
yeah,
goodness, so many.
yeah.
I love their sound. I love their sound. That caught me for that
Mhm.
album anyway. I mean, I did that whole. Was it a? That was Asylum. What album was that one? It was the one before that. Um, I did. I love their sound. But then I loved Pat Benatar. I love
Yeah.
Stevie
Right.
Nicks.
Oh yeah.
She's like an idol to me.
Hmm.
So I've always kind of geared toward that. And then Evanescence came out, and that
Mm.
was it. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love how they incorporate strings into the metal. God, I just love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's really the one that got me going on my
I noticed that like in
style, I
your
guess you could
yeah,
say.
well I noticed that in your music you have a lot of change ups and there's a lot of things going on. It's just not a wall of sound. You definitely have a lot of nuances in your music. And so I think that's some of those influences make sense now if I
Sorry.
listen to the music. Yeah. And that's great. That's what you need. You need to stand out. And then let's see. One
Yeah,
second,
I love
technical
it. And now
difficulty.
now I'm into Hailstorm, and love her stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, well, let me ask you this. Let's say tomorrow everything worked out great, and you got that call and the everything's going good, your albums are selling, and now all you have to worry about is music. Where would you find yourself? What direction would you go with your music? What would you want to do with it? Where would you find yourself if it all went great? If you just hit it
Oh,
hard.
great.
Yeah. If everything worked perfect.
Um, I'd still be in the metal. I'd still be doing my metal, and I would probably move closer to my band so
Yeah. Right.
excuse me, could work on the new stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that would be awesome. I'd love it. I would probably change a little bit more of my looks too, a little bit to be more what I want and not be so office professional all the
Yeah.
time.
Right on, man. Get full into it. Yeah. So, but
Oh
so,
yeah, the nose piercing, tattoos,
oh man,
all of it.
he would do all of that. That's awesome. See,
All of
that's
that. I
why.
have a back piece, but nobody sees it.
Oh yeah. So that's why we've got to get this little lady out there so that she can make those
I can
changes
get
and right, she can get tats and that's important, guys. Buy this album so she can complete
tattooed.
what she needs to complete. We're holding her back in life and we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about rock and roll, man. It just brings out something in people, that you wouldn't see normally, and how they truly think and look at the world, when music is center in your life, like a lot of people that I talk to on the show. Um, so let me ask you this now. We talk about, if everything went great, but what right now is holding you back from that? Like, I know money, yeah, but is there something else holding you back from pushing forward? What do you think you need the most right now?
Funding.
Funding.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's money. That's
Right.
all it is. If I had
Yeah.
it, it would be full on detour.
Yeah.
Everything I need to do, more videos, more everything. I've financed it all myself this far.
Yeah. That's hard to do.
It
Yeah.
it
That's
is. It
hard to
is
do.
being,
Hmm.
I'm on my own, so I work, I
Yeah.
pay my
Right.
bills, and not a whole lot to play with. we're working on some funding, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is my holdback. That and being so far in the band. And honestly, we had, if we could and go on tour, we'd all do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You feel the same way about the bandmates as well.
Yep.
They're
It's,
ready to go as well.
they're
And the
ready.
reason
Yeah.
I ask that, you'd be surprised how many people aren't ready to say go on tour. They're in
Right.
music or they just want to stay. So I like to find that where your true heart is. You know,
Yeah.
and
That was a lot of the members. Yeah.
yeah. So, well, if you're listening out there, support local bands, support independent music. You can go to www.americanmetalmagazine.com today and subscribe. And that helps these artists find their way. We send their music to all kinds of different radio DJs and things like that, and try to help find artists that are deserving to really get heard because there are some bands out here, guys, that are fantastic, and we're talking to one right now. So get out there and support. You can find links to this band, by the way, on AmericanMetalMagazine.com. So with that, is there somebody like you'd like to shout out to that's really helped you and supported you? Have you just kind of had to tough it out on your own, or do you think there's somebody out there that really has helped you along the way that you'd like to just say hi to?
Uh, don't think I'm allowed.
You're not allowed. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all right.
no, no.
No, I'm
It's
intrigued. You
been on
got
me.
somebody
Yeah.
dark on the inside, huh? I like that, man. But that's okay. You can stay mysterious. That's all right.
No,
Uh,
no. I had someone that was talking to me, and kept me afloat and gave me inside information on the music scene and stuff like that,
mhm.
and also helped me with some issues I was having with prior
Yeah,
management, that kind of thing.
sure.
But yeah, no one knows I was talking to that person, so we're not anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so yes, thank you. He knows who he is.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, well, I think that you keep pushing and working on the style, and her style, this band's style is really different, and you have to listen to it and to really appreciate what I'm talking about. Where are those? Do you have it out on for sale on Spotify and places like that? Where can people pick the music up? Is it everywhere?
It's everywhere. It's on all platforms. We have, I think, a profile on everything there is.
Yeah,
Apple, iHeartRadio, I mean, everything. Yeah. And I do
awesome.
have physical CDs that we will have. I'm pointing this way because they're back here behind
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That they're on the website, but we'll have them with us at our show in Ohio.
Excellent, excellent. Now, do you have a release date already for the new stuff? Something that we can look forward to?
Not technically. I'm aiming for July 3rd.
Okay,
I'm waiting on the label to to verify that and confirm it. I just sent
right.
them everything they needed for it. So
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm hoping July 3rd.
Yeah.
So
Can you mention what label that you're working with? Is
Curtain
that
Call
okay?
Records.
Ah, Curtain Call. Right. That's right. So this is a great opportunity for a really great band working with a good company that's going to really get you out there. I'm excited to see what happens. Are you guys looking to tour anytime soon? Come down to Florida? I think maybe we talked about that
We are coming down there in October. We have
in October.
two shows that are definitely booked and they're solid, but I can't,
Yeah, I can't
say
say
anything
right.
yet.
Gotcha.
And so since they're back to back,
Mhm.
actually a week apart. So we're gonna do a small little tour in October. Just be down in Florida for a couple weeks, do a couple shows.
That's
If,
awesome. Well,
yeah,
you make sure you let us know when you're coming down, and we're gonna put you in the magazine and list you on our Amdedex, which is just a listing of artists, completely free. Our whole thing here is to help independent artists grow and connect with the right people. If you're an industry professional, please register as well, and that way you can get access to all of these great bands and download their music and get it on your show. So check it out. Well, Connie, thank you for coming in today and talking to us here at American Metal Magazine. It's been great. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
we do have our show coming up in Ohio next week.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So,
Yeah, we
well,
did
you're really
Sandusky.
get yeah, you can check out these details. Sometimes the uh, interview will come out after that. So it may be coming out
Mhm.
right about the time. So you may just be missing it. But definitely come and visit the website. There's links to her profile and her information, and then you can find out different dates where she's going to be playing in your area. This is one to catch, guys. Her voice is incredible. The band is just raw energy. And you got to get out and check it out. Check out the local music scene and support your independent artist. Thanks again for joining us here at American Metal Magazine. Bye bye,
Thank you.
everybody, and go AML.